Hello and welcome. We're going to talk about Estevao. I said it was coming. The Club World Cup has accelerated its arrival. We're going to talk about Estevao. And I think I am much more excited about Estevao having done this than I was before, and much more excited about Estevao post Club World Cup than I was before for a few reasons. And we'll get into kind of projecting those out and what they mean. But let's just jump right in and get into the data. So I think first off, like as a big picture, he is a very difficult prospect to project because he is such a statistical outlier. Like this guy is from a stat profile in terms of goals and assists and shots and dribbles and passes and all the metrics we vaguely care about. He is just so far clear of every single kid to come out of Brazil since Neymar. And Neymar came quite a bit older. But when you compare it to Vinicius or Endrick or Rodrigo or a cavalcade of Brazilian attacking midfielders and wingers and strikers, Vitor Roque, Angelo, David Washington, like just miles clear. Like he is putting out pretty gargantuan output. The biggest thing, and the thing that is going to get flagged by everybody, and correctly flagged by everybody, I think, is he is a frankly ridiculous dribbler. 2.6 carries into the penalty area, 3.2 successful dribbles, but only 9 turnovers a game. And the reason I want to flag that is that for Chelsea's wingers to be successful in the way that Chelsea currently choose to play, how long they choose to play that way, let's see, you have to both go past people and not turn the ball over. Jadon Sancho did not really go past people, but did not turn the ball over very often and was a useful player. Nani Madueke goes past people lots, turns it over a little bit too often. Neto doesn't turn it over very frequently and doesn't go past people that often. Estevao legitimately goes past people at an unbelievable rate and does not turn the ball over very frequently, particularly as a dribbler. That's awesome and a huge, huge, huge starting point. If you look at some of his dribbling metrics, like carries into the final third, one of the things that's really important to evaluate for wide players is, are they dribbling past people into the box? There's kind of 3 dribbles, right? There is a dribble into the box, so you move it from a wide area into the penalty area. Very valuable. You go past people, also very valuable. And you receive the ball in the middle third and you get the team into the final third. That is also valuable. But for Chelsea, who had absolutely no problems moving the ball from the middle third into the final third, Chelsea were one of the most field tilty teams in Europe last year, blah, 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 blah. All of those things. It's a decidedly less valuable skill for Chelsea. But getting it into the area and going past people, and really, like, you look at his take on stats, like 7.5 take-ons attempted a game, 3.1 successful ones. His take-on percentage, his successful take-on rate is only 42%, which is about league average. A big part of it is just like repeatedly going. This is one of the things why I really like Jeremy Doku, is like you just have to keep going and keep doing it and keep going and keep doing it and keep going and keep doing it. And just every time you get it, I'm going to go. And every time I get it, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I'm going to go. And that is tremendously valuable. And that side of things is really true. And watch some video. The other side of this, like with these dribbly wingers, like Estevao is a complete non-entity defensively. He doesn't really do anything. Like it's fine. He's young, and like these things get better just by effort. But like he's not a very talented defender. But let's watch some video, because the video is pretty legit. One of the things that is super noticeable is that he does it on both sides. So here is Estevao against Porto, first game of the Club World Cup. Absolutely rinses a fullback to create space into a good shot on the left. Now he's on the right, gets to a spot where he can get into a cross or a cutback. Now he's on the right again, goes past people in open field, chops inside, wins a free kick. On the right, uses the overlapping run really well to create space to dribble inside, turns a 2v1 into like a reasonable attempt to a back post cross. He does not get help on the defender this time. Absolutely rinses the guy line. Really high quality cutback chance. Does not get help. So it's a straight 1v1. Ends up into a quite good cutback position. And he is so good on both sides. He is so good at just brutalizing defenders' movement against them. Watch his touches based on what the defender does here. Like, the defender here is like, I want you to keep going line because you have no help, right? Like, that's what he wants here. Is like, yeah, just run down the line and cross it to nobody. Estevao, as soon as the defender goes too far, okay, I'm going to cut inside and I'm going to make you turn your hips. As soon as he turns his hips, I'm straight back at you. Now this defender is not forcing one way or the other. He's like backpedaling square. It's impossible for this defender to do anything 1v1. He is not taking away the ability to go inside. What was a 1v5 in a wide channel is now he can dribble to this spot and it's a 2v2 attacking the goal. And all of a sudden this is so dangerous because this defender's hips have just gotten killed. And what does he do? He does the step over to sell. He gets his space inside. And now all of a sudden you have this, what was, again, the beginning of this clip. It is a 1v4. And look how far away help is. There is no way he should be able to get to a place where he can get this guy the ball. And he absolutely roasts this defender. Delay, drive the space. Wonderful slip pass. Like, that is masterful. That is a masterful use of dribbling in a 1v1. Here you have another example where he's using the cross to attack that 1v1 situation. So here you have another player, so it's a 2v2, but really he's just engaging this player. He sets up for the cross. Soon as the defender turns, he turns to block. I'm going to attack your back foot because you cannot react. And boom, we're here. And okay, the defender recovers okay. It ends up being not a great moment, but he's very, very decisive about, oh, as soon as you misstep, I'm going. Here he is on the left. Again, he is very, very good about the angles he takes and the pace at which he does his movements on the dribble. If you watch, he dribbles at the defender's left shoulder to start, to create the angle he wants. Step over, boom, create the separation. This is not it's not an amazing angle for a shot, but it's a great spot to get into. Like, the defending stuff or the dribbling stuff is so legit. It is so good on both sides, to the point that I would not be surprised even a little bit if he spends a lot of time as a left winger at Chelsea. If we look at kind of the bigger picture statistical modeling for him, so Davies, we've seen a few of these now for evaluating young players. Not only does he like break the scale for young players, he was the single best player in Brazil last year at 17, which is bananas. And as we have seen, I'm recording this Saturday after Chelsea have lost to Flamengo at the Club World Cup. The Brazilian league is like not terrible. Like, these teams are legit. Like, they can hang, especially the good teams. And if we look at kind of how those pieces are broken down, it's a lot of shooting value, a lot of final passes, a lot of dribbling, some getting into the box. He's above average for his age group and position defensively, which is okay. It's not a ton of value there. But the kid, like, is super legit. And to be very clear, if we take this plot on the top left where he is the best player, that's not per 90. So that means in his only 70% of the team minutes or whatever, 60% of the team minutes, he's putting up gargantuan value. Gargantuan value. He was extremely good for Palmeiras last season. One of the things that really surprised me in the video was the passing, because I was probably expecting a little bit more. He is 90th plus percentile for Opta's expected assisted goals for which is like real XA, and then Opta have XA, which is like fake XA. It's a whole thing. And he creates a lot of shots out of that, which is extremely valuable. Um, I think I like perhaps had him pegged wrongly in terms of his passing stuff. But the other thing that's interesting is like he isn't creating much outside of finishing his dribbles. It's very much he dribbles past somebody and then it's a square or a cutback or whatever, and that is tremendously valuable. But there was more than I thought there was when I got into the video. So there's like a few things. One of the things I love is that he is very good at playing the pass and then continuing his movement, whether he's on the right or the left. So you will see a lot of, he plays this pass, Chelsea's wingers would stay there. They'd be like, I am the winger, I stay here. But he is very good about like, I play my pass and then I am getting into the box. I am filling the space I am supposed to fill. Here's another one. He plays across. Like you can imagine he dribbles inside. This is Cole Palmer receiving there. And you're like, oh my God. But he continues his run into the box that if there's a juicy rebound, like he's going to be the one to get it. Here's another one. He plays his pass to the opposite 10 and then continues his movement off of the back of people's shoulders into the box. Here's another one. Boom. I'm into the box and nobody's picking me up. So that is like a really, really good trend for young players of particularly Chelsea's wingers of if I dribble inside and I go to connect with someone, I am going to release the ball and then I'm going to go get into the box and I'm going to go fill this space here. You can imagine how many clips we saw all the time. How many clips we see all the time of Neto or Madueke or Sancho last season where they get to this spot and they pass the ball across and then they stop and they come back outside to go be a winger. And then if you get the breakdown, the winger's not there at the back post for the tap-in. And so I think that is extremely valuable. Wingers who get into good spots in the box are very valuable. The other side of this, like I said, is the dribble past people and cut back. He is very good at finding cutbacks out of his dribbles where he will get really deep, like really close to the end line to the point where you think he has no space. And he will find slips and reverses with his right foot, no problem. If you think about, like, for comparison, Pedro Neto, like, he often is crossing from these situations, whereas Estevao is very much cutting back and passing from these situations. And you can see pretty nice moments where he goes past somebody here, and if you watch his head, he looks to see who am I picking out here, and it's a great delivery to the back post. And you can see every single time he takes the touch, as soon as he has enough separation, boom, look, what am I seeing? Who am I picking out? What's the picture? And then he picks somebody out. And like these are fabulous assists, or I guess would be assists. The other thing is he's quite good about avoiding like channels where there's going to be nothing for you. Like this is a 1v4 and you're deep enough that like you can't, like the dribble that we saw before where he waits till the defender turns his hips. There's too much help inside for you to do that here. But if he just goes line, this player doesn't have to worry about defending inside because he has so much help. So if you just go line, he's just going to block the cross. So instead he just bails out early. Like I'm just going to delay, and then I'm going to pick an unbelievable pass into this channel. And it's like, that's ridiculous. Like that's a ridiculously good pass. And so you can imagine, I think one of the things that has often happened at Chelsea this season and at the Club World Cup and so on is that the wingers are, Chelsea are very reliant on the wingers to like create things. They're like the grease that gets the team rolling. And when they're not going past people or they're not moving the ball past people, the team gets a little bit bogged down. And when the team gets bogged down, Cole Palmer goes and gets the ball because he's like, well, I'm not going to get it here. And so when Cole Palmer goes and gets the ball, it means he's not getting it in as valuable positions and somebody else has to go fill those less valuable positions. And it kind of just drags everything down. And I think the passing stuff is very legit to the point that like you can imagine some of these situations where like he's dribbling and it's a cutback or he's played a 10 in a pocket outside of the attention he's driven. And you can imagine like that's a pass to Cole Palmer and it's like, oh my God, imagine the space that he would do damage with. One of the other things, his corner delivery is very good. I outswingers and inswingers. I like the inswingers more, but he hits them with a lot of pace. And for a left-footed player, which is a hole in Chelsea's set-piece delivery team, like Pedro Neto, like Palmer's corners for some reason are not very good. Neto's corners stink. But Estevao puts like very good whip, and he gets very good up and down, like he's hitting a free kick almost, like he's shooting a free kick. But he puts them into real, like the keeper makes a mess of that one. But like this one is like very good delivery for a back post corner. Like if specifically we are attacking the back post on this corner, that's a perfect delivery. Here's another one just whipped right into the crowd. Like these are very good deliveries. Like no keeper is coming for this. And also they're not getting dealt with easily by zonals. Like these are very, very, very good corners. The last kind of piece of his passing arsenal is when he cuts inside. So you have like when he connects to going behind, you have when he goes to his right foot to cut back or to cross, and you have the dead balls. The other thing is when he cuts inside, his little reverse passes and slips are very good. He's very clearly getting his head up quite early to pick passes out in a way I did not anticipate, and does not show up that much in the data. Like when you look at the data, so if you look, like the greens are cutbacks here, but the light blues are progressive. Like there's a lot of the light blues that are slips, but there's not that many, and maybe they're just like blocked because there's more of the dark blue ones. And a lot of these are crosses. But there's some real stuff there in terms of his ability to slip people that I did not anticipate. And his timing is very good. His weight of pass is really good. Like those are both very difficult passes to execute. Here's another one, just like boop, little reverse. Okay, no problem. We'll get a goal. Like it's just they're little things. And there was the slip at the beginning of the dribbling one. Like he has significantly more ability to spot a pass and then weight it correctly than I anticipated. The shooting stuff is so legit. He strikes the ball extremely well. Over 3 shots per game, which for a winger is very, very good. Like, if you can get wingers who consistently get you over 2.5 shots a game, and we've talked so much about shot volume on this channel, but if you think about it like holistically, if your striker gets you 4 shots a game and your 2 wingers get you 3 shots a game each, you are starting every single game up 1-0. Because it's 10 shots. Like you are starting at the base of, we have the base of our attack done. And then it's you get 2 from midfield, 3 from midfield, 2 set piece shots, and all of a sudden you're like an 18, 19, 20 shot per game team. And it's just, your attack is going to be very good if you can consistently get 18, 19, 20 shots. And so when I see a winger with his ability to create and like not bad non-penalty expected goals per shot. Like a lot of times you see wingers who take over 3 shots a game and their non-penalty expected goals per shot. Like Gittins is a player that is like this, or Yildiz. Their non-penalty expected goals per shot is like 0.05. Neto is somebody like this. That's garbage. Like it's not worth it. And so when you see he's taking over 3 shots a game, they're from pretty good locations. Like it's not shocking that he's putting up pretty huge goal numbers for anyone, let alone his age and his profile. When you look at his finishing profile for this season, 10 goals from 9 XG, almost all with his left foot, none with his head. He is an extremely one-footed player. Like Gittins was more like a 3-1 right foot to left foot. Estevao is like 7 or 8-1 left foot to right foot. That's okay. For where he is, he's quite good passing with his right foot. So like, I don't think it's impossible that comes. I think it's just much more the positions he ends in. He's shooting with his left foot. But the kid murders the ball. Like he absolutely peppers the ball for his ability. And so if you watch, again, left or right doesn't matter. Like he is an excellent ball striker. Works the space, good save. Works half a yard on his left foot, tries to be cute on the finish. works half a yard on his left foot, roofs it. Like on the left side of the pitch, like he is very dangerous. And we've seen one of the things with Nani Madueke is Madueke moving from right to left is his shot volume is cratered, right? Like when he's on the right, he just gets so many more shots, and it's to try and cut out some of the bad shots and lean into some more of the creation stuff. But when Estevao's on the left, like the dude is getting shots off. Like he is working the angles to get high quality shots no matter what. Again, off the left, there's a combination to get him behind. One of the things that I really liked to see is, and like I said about him being diligent, getting into the box, Maresca's talked like pretty at length about getting the wingers to the back post for tap-ins and for squares and for cutbacks. Chelsea did not really do that at all last season. If you think about the number of goals that Chelsea scored like that, it's very few. You would be very hard-pressed to remember many of them. There's like a Mudryk header in the Conference League. Madueke has a few, but like Neto doesn't have any tap-ins. Sancho didn't have any tap-ins. Like Chelsea did not create any of those opportunities really. And some of it is the way their offense was set up, but a huge chunk of it was like they just didn't have players arriving in that position all the time. Like this winger would be out here doing nothing. And if you just watch this clip, you just watch Estevao from the beginning, how hard he works to get to the back post. And not only get to the back post, get inside of his fullback so he has the chance to actually score. Like, okay, the keeper makes a great save, whatever. Here he is arriving again, inside the player, misses a header, whatever. Here he is arriving, back post tap in. So that sort of thing, like that's free money. And that's, if you can just consistently like, no, I am not going to, oh, you're crossing. I'm going to get myself all the way to the back post. I'm not going to sit out wide waiting for possession to recycle. I'm going to arrive. Knowing, right, that like if this player puts his foot on it and doesn't cross and turns around, that by the time the ball gets to here and they need you, you can get back out there and be the width. It's no problem. It is purely an effort thing to arrive. And then obviously there's the expected, right? Left-footed right winger. He's going to cut in and shoot. He is unbelievable at creating separation to get shots off on his left foot. Like he has that same jink that he has when he's dribbling to pass or to create, that like he's very, very good at just creating half a yard, and he's an excellent ball striker. He gets terrific whip. He gets a lot of like his hip all the way around it. Terrific shooter from distance. Strikes the ball very, very hard, laces or instep. The stuff that I would, and like inside, outside, doesn't matter. Like he's very clever shooting through legs, using defenders as screens, whatever you want. If I was going to be critical, there was a cool article about Arne Slot meeting with Arnaut Danjuma about when he was with Feyenoord, and they were like, and he was like, yeah, he met with me and he spent an hour showing me the things I was bad at. And if I was going to do that with Estevao, the big things are like, there's some waste, there's some fat. There's not a tremendous amount of fat. Like again, if I go back to the shooting metrics, like he's above average non-penalty expected goals per shot for his position. This is okay. Like if my wingers have 0.11 xG per shot, I'm totally fine with that. He has some fat he can trim. Like there's maybe half a shot a game that I would not take, and I would do something else. I would lean into the passing more, or the crossing, or the dribbling. Like where you end up in situations like this, where like you have a body on you, you're running horizontal to the goal. Like this is a hard spot to execute from. Again, like under pressure, a lot of bodies in the way. Is that really the one you want to shoot? I don't know, probably not. So I think I would trim some of that fat, but there's not that much there. It's like this is a much better, when you compare explicitly to Gittins or really any of the other wingers that Chelsea are looking at. Like this is a much, much, much better shot profile. You can totally live with that. But there is some fat there to trim for him as a player. So like how do we project that out? So if you look at uh basically all of the biggest transfers out of Brazil of similar players, you have a bunch. So you have, I think this is I can't remember all of them. There's Rodrigo, there's Endrick, there's, I think this is Endrick. There's Vinicius, there's Rodrigo, there's Endrick, there's Gabriel Jesus, and there's Reiner, the one who went to Dortmund on loan. Um, and what you see is that the first season all of them get to Europe is none of them play. They play very few minutes the first season. And like it's a huge cultural adjustment. It is. And again, remember these kids are coming at 18, 19, every single one of them. Huge life changes. So when I'm thinking about projecting out Estevao, the vast majority of this is going to be how much does he play? And so when I look at it, Chelsea have a pretty big need at left winger. They're going to buy a left winger, but they have lots of right winger minutes. I find it difficult to see him getting a huge amount of minutes, particularly in the league and particularly without Conference League. So I would probably project him across all competitions to play something like 12 90s, 15 90s at the upper limit. Kind of that 1,000 to 1,500 minute mark is where I would peg him based on the investment and adjustment to the country and like it's going to be a very difficult change for him. And if you look at some of the comparables, like Endrick only played 400 minutes, Gabriel Jesus played 700 minutes his first season, but then played like 1,700 his second season. Rodrigo played 1,000 minutes his first season. Vinicius played 900 minutes his first season. Those Real Madrid teams were better than Chelsea are now. So is the City team. So he'll probably play more. So that I think is a good number. And then when you look at kind of the XG numbers, like all of these guys were worse than Estevao was in terms of production in Brazil. Gabriel Jesus had slightly more goals, but I think on like the X numbers, they were all somewhat worse. Jesus comes across and does basically the same thing he was doing in Brazil. Goes to a very, very good team. Endrick comes, doesn't really do much. His X numbers were okay. Rodrigo comes, doesn't do very much. He's like a 0.3 guy. Vinicius comes as like a 0.5 guy. Reiner comes, doesn't play at all. And so I look at it and I'm like, Estevao's a 0.7-ish XG plus XA guy. He's coming to a somewhat tumultuous Chelsea team, but they're strong. They're a strong team in the league. I'd probably just cut it in half and say he's going to be like a 0.3, 0.4 guy in 1,200 minutes, and he'll do like 4 or 5 goals and assists in that time. And I think that's totally okay for a first season for an 18-year-old moving to England. Now, the Brazilian teams have looked pretty damn good at the Club World Cup. Is Brazil going to translate to the Premier League much better than I anticipate? Perhaps. And I'd be very happy if it did. I think he plugs some pretty obvious squad holes. Like, I think you could play him as a left winger tomorrow, and I would not be mad about it. But I think that's probably where my projection is. So my median outcome will be something like 1490s, 1490s, and 5 goals and assists is where I'll leave it. Well, other than that, let me know what you think. If you think he's going to score 30, if you think he's going to score 0, if you think he's going to flop, if you think he's going to bang, if you would loan him to Strasbourg, if you would never play him on the left. Let me know what you think in the comments or on socials. But that's going to be all from me. I like Estevao. The video was better than I was anticipating. And I've watched some of these games live, but the video was pretty good. And the data is every bit as we'd want. And in terms of youth development lottery tickets to buy, this is a pretty worthwhile lottery ticket. Anyways, that's all for me. As always, enjoy the soccer.